I'm Tom Landon for Blue Ridge PBS. In October of 1983, U.S. troops landed in Grenada in the Southern Caribbean. Blue Ridge PBS has produced a documentary that features the experiences of U.S. troops both there and in Beirut, Lebanon. In the summer of 2023, producer Kurt Schruth and I were fortunate to be able to travel to Grenada to document some of the important sites related to the invasion. As is often the case, much of what we recorded didn't find a home in the documentary, and we thought it'd be nice to produce this short video that showcases Grenada 40 years after the American intervention. Grenada is located at the southern end of the Grenadines island chain and is unique for its proximity to both North and South America. With a population of almost 125,000 people, it's known as the Spice Island due to its production of nutmeg and mace. The local population is comprised of the descendants of both indigenous people and former enslaved people who were brought there from Africa. Following the American intervention in 1983, tourism became a dominant force in the economy, with regular visits from cruise ships and multiple flights a day from both the U.S. and Europe. The modern airport, constructed by international investment from France, Canada, the UK, Cuba, the then Soviet Union, and the United States, led to the expansion of resorts. Today, Grenada is a haven for expats and tourists with beautiful sandy beaches and crystal blue water. Cruisers, or expats who live and play on their sailboats and motor yachts, can anchor at multiple locations, and the underwater environment offers fantastic fishing and diving. Just as in colonial times, distilleries produce local small label rums, including the River Antoine Estate Distillery, where locally harvested sugarcane is both a key ingredient and also a fuel source for the stills that date back to the 1780s. The city of St. George's is home to the cruise ship terminal, but it's also a working port city, bustling with activity. We felt extremely safe as we walked the streets talking to locals who were happy to share their hospitality and their thoughts on the American intervention. You can still see evidence of the military intervention at many locations. Fort Rupert, site of the execution of Prime Minister Maurice Bishop, was under renovation when we visited, but provides amazing views of St. George's Harbor. Other colonial fortresses high on the volcanic mountains also feature breathtaking views amid the rubble of the conflict 40 years ago. Locals and tourists alike swim at the many beaches, including Grand Anse, where American students were rescued by helicopter, but also at countless other spots along the shoreline. Pearls Airport near Grenville still shows evidence of Cuban and Soviet aircraft disabled during the intervention. And is now home to a local drag strip that features spectacular views of offshore islands. No visit to the island would be complete without visiting the many waterfalls and nature reserves that have become tourist destinations. With an astounding variety of native plants and flowers, these spots also feature locals who will dive from cliffs to the applause of tourists. Even though our reason for visiting Grenada could be considered tragic, Kurt and I both fell in love with the island and look forward to our next visit. Thanks to the locals who made it possible for us to cram so much shooting into just one short week. The same amount of time covered in the Blue Ridge PBS documentary, 1 week in October.